Hi BookTube. I'm here to do a Friday reads, and my goodness am I glad that it's Friday. I had a kind of a rough week. I unexpectedly took some time off Monday and Tuesday because I unfortunately had a migraine, and just staring at a computer screen was the very last thing that I wanted to do. And unbeknownst to you, I was trying to film a vlog because I have so much going on in March, but it got kind of derailed, and I just didn't get any clips of going out because, to be honest, I haven't gone out that much. But I'm hoping, fingers crossed, to do like just a mini weekend reading vlog for this weekend, because I'm thinking of going to some free libraries, and because you can't really see it, but in between these two bookshelves, there's a little corner here because they're not like flush together. So I use that to like pile up a tower of books I want to unhaul, and so I have I've finished my first tower, and I got a second one growing because otherwise it's just going to topple right onto me. And so, yeah, I'm thinking of doing like some free library drop-offs, and so I thought I would take you along with me. And like, if I'm going to do that, then why not try and do a vlog for the weekend? So I'm dropping the 2-week vlog for a mini weekend vlog. But I still plan to do a wrap-up of all the books I've read so far in March, because I've been doing a ton of mystery reading and middle grade reading, and so that'll lead into what my plans are for this weekend. So I've already started several books. I think with the readathons and such, I have a bigger currently reading pile than I normally do because of the mammoths. So I'll just briefly mention those. I just like a progress update, I guess. I am on page 219 in the poetry collection, the American Poetry of the 19th Century, Volume 1. I have Volume 2 on my shelves as well, and I don't know, poetry just is, I keep trying to I feel like I'm trying to force it. Maybe this is too much poetry for me to, it's like poetry overload when I'm, yeah. Some of it I am liking, but most of it I'm just like, okay, like kind of like pushing myself to get through it, so maybe I should just drop it. But I'm 200 plus pages in of 1,000 pages. We'll see how I go throughout the month, but it's okay. And for the nature writing chunker that I've mentioned a couple of times, I'm more of a way through it. I still have this part to go. I am 429 pages in, and I am liking this a lot better. This is like an anthology of nature writing. Sometimes they're pulling from books, sometimes they're pulling from essays, and a lot of the people I recognize. There's quite a few that I don't. I mean, this is like, I feel like 100 at least. I don't even know how many. It doesn't give me a number, but yeah, a lot of nature writers, and I have quite a collection. You can't really see it, but I have nature writing. Most of this is nature writing, and where do I feel like I had a section of just short story writings. But I know I think it's, a person can see this, but I have at least 5, if not more, in a way. So, but this is, where did it go? This is the biggest one I have on my shelf. So I'm like, why not go with the biggest one first to get through? And then as for my Age of Federalism book that I think I mentioned, like one of the oldest books I have on my shelf that I haven't read, and I'm really enjoying this one. I'm 209 pages in, and right now I'm on the chapter called Jefferson as Secretary of State, and this is about how we set up to our current way of running the government, and what was the alternative, with federalism and the anti-federalists and that whole thing. And we've gone through Hamilton and Madison, and now we're on Jefferson. It's kind of like going through time here, and yeah, there's some dry parts, but overall I really like it. And then I have, for a couple other currently reading books, I have a couple audiobooks, but I'm not gonna talk about those because I'm just gonna overwhelm you with all my little currently reading pile here, because like I said, I'm currently reading a lot. But since I mentioned audiobooks, I'll go ahead and say that I decided to continue on with the Hannah Swenson series by Joanne Fluke. I'm on the lemon meringue something, because all of her books have some kind of food in it. What I really like is there's recipes in them, and so they've already gone over the lemon meringue recipe. And I've only made lemon meringue one time, and I really want to make it again. I've done like lemon pie bars, and I've done like lemon pound cake and lemon loaves, but lemon meringue only once, so I really need to make it again. And then I'm also listening to an audiobook of Wolf Hall that Steve Donahue is doing for his, what does he call it? Steve Donahue like book club. So I have been meaning to read Wolf Hall forever, and I have picked it up multiple times. It's one of the few books where I have given it many chances, and I just haven't gotten pulled in. But this time I'm gonna be listening to it because, and I'm like 35% of the way in, and I think I'm like part 3 or part 4, and I'm liking it. Again, for audiobooks with something like that dense, I know I'm not getting the full experience like I would if I was reading it with my eyes. But when I was like I said, I mentioned, like, I mean, I've tried like 2 or 3, maybe 4 times to read this book in physical form and on ebook, and it's never held my attention for whatever reason. So yeah, trying to do it with the audiobook, and I'm liking it. And then there's one other book called The Family that I just started by Jeff Sherritt, I think is his name. And what brought my attention to him was I think he has a new book coming out soon. So, and I've never read any of his book, but all of his books sound like something up my alley. Like the one called The Family is about like fundamentalist religious organizations that are like trying to, like, or not trying, or have whatever infiltrated the talk about the government, like infiltrated like politics to hold sway. And so I found that fascinating. So I was listening to that as well. So not only do I have multiple books that I'm reading, I have 3 audiobooks. I don't know. Like when I walk my dog, and she's sitting right beside me, so sorry if you hear any breathing, because we just got back from a really long walk. Yeah, so anyway, when I'm on walks with Fable, sometimes the audio isn't as loud as I would like if I'm walking, like, along it's a sidewalk and stuff with cars. Sorry. Fable's like, again, she's always nudging the camera here. Her ears are like pushing against it. She's so cute. But yeah, so sometimes the audio isn't that strong, or I'm not in the mood for it. Like for The Family or Wolf Hall, I don't want to listen to those like when I'm walking, because I'm focusing mostly on my dog. So that's when I'm listening to the mystery books. That's why I have 3 audiobooks going on at the moment. But yeah, anyway. Okay, so I just started, I'm on page 10 of Robert Barnard's Death and the Princess, Scene of the Crime Mystery. And this is one of the older books on my shelf, like from 80, and not an old book that I've had on my shelf for a long time, but it's one of the older mystery books that I have. It's from like 1982. Yeah, 1982. And this is starting with, I don't know what was his job, but somehow our main character is getting pulled in. It's called, the first chapter is Royal Summons, where he is having to help a princess that's like, she's part of the royalty, but she's not like up there, like, with the queen, but she is on the royal family, and so something's going on there. And does it say, I'm not exactly sure what the mystery is yet, but does it say at the beginning, maybe there's a section? Well, the queen's not going to be on here, because it says right here, the queen was definitely not amused. Murder and royalty don't mix. Yeah, so we'll see. I'll report back on what the mystery is on this. But yeah, obviously there's maybe the princess is going to die. I don't know. And then I have the last currently reading book is Battle Dress by Amy Ifall. And this is part of my middle grade books. Although this might be considered YA, I'm not sure. This is published back in 2000. So YA wasn't it wasn't a whole genre back then, in the sense that it is now. But I am reading for my middle grade shelves that are up here. I am trying to read A through Z authors, and I think there's gonna be a couple of times where I'm not gonna have that particular letter as a last name. So I'm gonna try to find a first name with that particular letter. Right now I'm on letter E, and so this is about. Right now, the main character is just getting, I don't know if he's being shipped off, or if it's just choice to go to West Point, and it's very military-esque. Like, the back here is yes sir, no sir, and you're pea-brained, and you're scum, and don't you understand anything, you lowlife. And so it's like that whole, the generals and the leaders are talking down, the sergeants and whatnot, or the boot camp lingo of talking down to these boys that are at West Wing. So yeah, I just started this. I'm on page 2. So I'm like, this count as currently reading. So I was just starting this today. I was like, why not film my Friday reads before I get on with my books? So that's my currently reading. Like, I have the mammoth stuff. Again, I'm just chipping away up here. So I have these that I do not expect to read this weekend. Although this one, really want to get to by the 15th or the 16th, so I can start my last mammoth here of the Fitzgeralds and the Kennedys. We'll see how that goes. And so I have these two currently reading, and then this is really short. And this, even though it's like a hardback, it's I'll get through it pretty quickly since it's the middle grade. I have two other books that I want to start, maybe finish. This is the title. This is why I bought it. Wuthering Heights, an Ellie Haskell mystery by Dorothy Kennel. And this is about Ellie, and she's not only is she and her husband going to visit the Moors, they are bringing along their house, because of course they're going to have a housekeeper, and they're going to have a co-conspirator in crime solving, Miss Roxy Malloy. And so, yeah, this whole group is going to the Moors, maybe like actually visiting the site of the Bronte sisters, and mysteriously there's a cook that falls down, and there's a vicar that meets his death after drinking a cup of tea. So yeah, looking forward to that, and I want to compare and see how close it is to Wuthering Heights, one of my favorite books by the Brontes. And then I'm like looking around, okay, the last book I'm going to be reading is on my Kindle, and I'm being lazy and just showing you here instead of pulling it up on like my tablet, is Don Winslow, City on Fire. And I've never read this author before, but it's like a fast-paced thriller. And let me see about the book. It's handy like that with the Kindle having everything there. 376 pages, and let's see, it's the first book in a series, and he's written a couple of, or at least one series called the Cartel Trilogy, and I've never read it, but I was just looking for like interesting thrillers, and this pulled up. But it says, two criminal empires together control all of New England until a beautiful woman comes between the Irish and the Italians, launching a war that will see them kill each other, destroy an alliance, and set a city on fire. So this sounds like something I'm just going to fly through, and so yeah, have to go with a fast-paced thriller amongst all the other stuff I got going on. But I wanted like a variety for the mystery of like the cozy mystery, the police procedurals, the thrillers, like the amateur sleuths that aren't cozy mysteries, but you know, yeah, so all that kind of books going on. But yeah, so yeah, I'm hoping to take you along with me and actually film a vlog and stick with it. And no more migraines, please, because that was unfortunate. And I lost so much time unexpectedly from work, and so from Wednesday to Friday today, I've been like catching up like mad, and I still feel like I'm drowning. But it'll wait until Monday, but in the meantime, I'm just gonna be focusing on the books. So yeah, have a good weekend, and I will talk to you soon. Thanks, BookTube.